All right, guys, I'll be honest with you. I made a mistake, and I don't want you to make the same mistake. That's why the last video was so short. Number 6, if I get to equations like this, anytime they're going to ask me which two equations are the same, it's very simple. They're the same if when you graph them, they land exactly on top of each other. So on all of these, I should be graphing everything. So I first graphed the one that they gave me, right? And here's where the mistake was. This says -4. Well, usually minus and negative mean the same, not on the calculator. So I had put minus this sign. Here is the negative sign. So you got to put -4. If not, it's going to give you an error. Okay, but then you just put the x plus 7, close it. You don't have to use that, but you can raise it to the second power. Go down, and then it's -6, right? So if this right here, go back. If I put minus and say graph, I get an error. Go back into the y equals and change that to the negative and graph, and you'll get a picture, right? So there's a picture. So now I need one of these to land on top of that, right? Just go down into the next one, and I put that again. That's minus. So if we try to use that, it's minus. Just use the calculator. You guys will have the handheld, so it'll be a lot easier. -4 x squared minus 56x minus 202. Graph. It should show it graphing on it if it was going to land on it. So go back to that one, delete the whole thing, and so it's negative. It's always 4x squared plus 14 plus 43. Oh, plus 14x. I deleted the whole thing. So -4x squared. Like I said, this should be faster for you guys because it's on your calculator. That's for sure a no. Backspace clears it. -4x squared minus 56x minus 172. For sure no. So B and C are for sure no. A, I think I should have seen it graph on top, but we can check that in a second. -4x squared plus 190. No. Well, anyway, never mind. B, C, and D, all you saw the graph not land on it. So A is actually it. I would always make sure, I'm one of those people, I check everything. So I go here, I do -4x squared, I'd put it back in there. Minus 56 x minus 202. And even when I graph, if I don't see anything, I can always go to the table and see that the numbers are exactly the same. If the numbers are the same, that's the same graph. Okay, so that one is actually A. Okay, 7. Which quadratic function in vertex form can be represented by the graph that has the vertex at there and passes through this point? So again, if you know about vertex form, if you have those memorized, which we should, I mean, you should have learned that in algebra, but right now we're working on how are we going to take this test and do really well and make sure you're right. Because even if I know, I may want to make sure. So I need it to pass through 3, -7. Now, if it's in vertex form, you should be able to see the vertex right away, right? What does that mean? I know exactly when I look at it. So it should be the -3 with the -7. But again, go to your y equals, use the backspace, good. And we can just graph these and then check those points. Okay, so this is really tedious to write, but I'll show you with 3 divided by 4 x plus 3 squared plus 7. All right, and you graph it. The vertex is at 3, -7, definitely not there. Like you can just see it. The vertex is up here going up. I go back into my y equals. You still got most of it's the same. So that was the plus. So I'll do C where it's minus right there. So I just changed the minus. That's all that was different there. Graph that. That looks like it's at 3, +7. But not 3, -7. It wants a vertex at 3, -7. So I go back in there. Now you put a negative in front. So you can just say, second, insert the negative. And I'll leave the -3. And I got to go over there and change that to -7. All right, that one's at 3, -7. If you want to make sure that it's not this one, right, because that's what we have here. That's D. B just has a plus in here. That's not it. So the answer is D. Okay. How long is this video? This video is getting a little too long. We'll just do one last one. What are the solutions to this equation? Right? If I need to find the answer to this, I'm going to have two solutions. Again, if I always make this y equals and I graph it, my solution should be where I could, where it crosses the x-axis, right? So if it's going to be one of these, I should know. So let's look at that. Y equals, use the backspace. This is the last one I'll do. So if I was solving this and I wanted it to get a 0 on this side so I could make it y equals, I would just subtract 32, right, from both sides, and then all this would be -32 and would be equals 0. So my y equals would be 7, close it, squared, -32, right? One simple thing to bring it over. Now all that equals 0. I graph it. Okay, I got 1 there, and that's at 3. Is the other one at 11? Well, I can zoom out to see if it comes back up at 11. Let's go to the table. Does it ever come up to 11? Yeah, so it did. There's the 11, 0 right there. Okay, so those are my zeros. 3, 0, 11, 0. So the answer is C. I'll stop there.